Welcome back to Ghost Fired Entertainment. I'm your host, Kanan Becker, and today we do another deep dive into Shudder. For those of you not familiar with this channel, once a week I go searching through the popular streaming platforms and come up with 10 horror movies to recommend to you guys. This week, I went searching through Shudder and came up with 10 horror movies that I think you will enjoy. And with that, let's get to the list.
Happier.
There's something out here, isn't there?
So The Endless is a movie I just recently discovered while making up this list on Shudder, and it's a small little indie movie like most of the movies on Shudder. But I really enjoyed this. This is definitely more of a sci-fi movie than it is horror.
They're all in like their 40s, they just look young. It's weird.
But it does have some horrific elements and just concepts in general. But it's a small movie, so don't go into this expecting anything more than that. Because it's small, some of the acting isn't the greatest, and some of the special effects at times can be a little bit But I think if you enjoy psychological thrillers with sci-fi twisted elements, then this is a very fun one that I think you should check out. So Great White just dropped on Shudder just a week or two ago, and when I saw it immediately I was like, all right, it's time to make a Shudder list, because I did a full review of this back when it first came out. I was hoping to see it in theaters because I know it was in select theaters, but unfortunately it wasn't playing anywhere near me. So I rented it a few months ago when it first came out on VOD, and I very much enjoyed it. It's just a fun little shark movie. It takes the whole element and everything of it very seriously though, so this isn't like a spoof movie or an over-the-top shark kind of movie. This is a very serious shark attack kind of concept, and it does go pretty hard into that.
So do you think it's gone? It's still out there. It's close.
So in no way is this movie reinventing the wheel. We have seen other shark movies that are just as good, if not better. However, the production of this movie is fantastic, and just overall, it looks beautiful. Even the shark attack moments, the way that was done, I thought looked really legit. So just in general, this is a solid little movie, but just nothing super unique, but still worth a watch. So The Machine is another movie that I just recently discovered while making this list on Shudder, and I really enjoyed this movie. It's a little sci-fi movie that deals with robotics and AI and just all of that fun sci-fi stuff.
It's incredible. It's conscious.
But because this movie is a small movie, I think it works to its advantage, and it keeps it small and within reason and just feels grounded. It has some really solid acting as well, which also helps. And then even though it's small, the special effects are done tastefully and just well done. So if you're into small sci-fi thrillers with horror elements, then this is definitely one you should check out.
I adore the old creatures of sorrow.
Alright, so City of the Dead is a horror movie from 1960, and this is a classic, but one that you just don't hear enough people talk about, because this is a really good movie, and it really deserves much more attention. If you're someone that enjoys classics, then this, to me, is one that is a must-see. Some classic movies, even though I do find a way to appreciate them and enjoy them, they are rather boring. Like, just the pacing of movies from back in the black and white era just are hard sometimes to keep my attention. But this movie was really surprising at just how interesting it felt. It just delves into witches and witchcraft and all that creepy stuff like that.
On Candlemas Eve, a coven of witches gathered beneath the Raven's Inn to perform a black mass in the honor of Lucifer.
But just in general, this small town that it's done in looks so great. It's just foggy and creepy and just overall atmospherically wonderful. This is a movie that I highly recommend.
Vegetables into a tasty, mouth-watering paste.
So VHS 94 is one that I did recommend not too long ago, back when it first was released. But I still don't think enough people are checking this movie out. And this movie is just so badass. If you enjoy anthology type of movies and found footage, it doesn't get any better, in my opinion, at doing those two things, at sandwiching those things together. The VHS franchise in general is pretty cool. I really enjoyed the original, but the ones in the middle were not necessarily always the greatest. But this movie brings back that franchise fiercely. It has some really up and coming directors as well as some mainstays of horror. Just in general, I think this is a badass, gory, exciting little movie that you should definitely check out. Alright, so Dragula is a great little reality TV competition series that's on Shudder. And it faces off these really successful drag queens against each other. And at the end, they crown who is basically the Dragula queen for that season. And it's going on for a few seasons. I checked it out probably last year or something like that. I checked out some of it. But this season is even more over the top and even better. The thing about it is, you don't have to be into drag culture, any of that kind of stuff necessarily to enjoy this, because the creativity and the art design and everything that's done and put into this show is absolutely amazingly well done. Each one of the contestants are a lot of fun to watch. There's some crazy cat fight type of stuff going on in this. I just think it might surprise you on how entertaining and how much fun this show actually is. So I think you should definitely check it out. So Them is another movie that I did do a review on if you want to check that out not too long ago. But this is a French movie and it is just terrifying as hell. It is a home invasion style movie where there's this couple that has their home broken into in the middle of the night and all hell breaks loose. The thing is, it's hard to not give away what the real core of this movie's about, and the twist and what does unfold is absolutely terrifying. This is one of those movies that if you have yet to have it spoiled for you and you don't know what the twist in it is so much fun, but yet definitely will get your goose pimples going. So one that I think if you've never seen it, it is a must that you check this movie out. So Rare Exports is, in my opinion, one of the best, if not the best, horror Christmas movies there is. This movie is so different. It delves into the whole Santa Claus mythology in a totally different way, from a very different angle.
This mountain is like a giant icebox.
For storing what?
Drill deep.
This is a Finnish movie, so you will have to read subtitles, and I'm not a big fan of subtitles at all. I just generally don't watch subtitle movies. I don't see the greatest, and so it's very difficult for me to follow along with subtitles. But this is one of those rare movies that is definitely worth reading subtitles. Even if you're not into them, even if you struggle with them, this is very much worth it. Because this movie is so original and unique, but definitely scary. And for a Christmas movie to actually be scary, I think it's very surprising. But it's just such a well done movie. Very enjoyable in so many different ways, and one that I just don't want to give away. But I'm telling you, if you've never seen it, do yourself a favor this holiday season and check it out.
Your story is just beginning.
So the Mortuary Collection is one of my very, very favorite movies currently on Shudder. This movie is awesome. It is a lot of fun in so many ways. It's another anthology movie, but it's one of the better anthology movies we've seen in quite a while.
Every corpse tells a story. It is our task to listen.
So these are all stories about how people died.
Because it's creepy and weird, and some of the stories are more in one direction, some are in others. There's definitely some creepy, scary stuff, but then there's some very strange body dysmorphia stuff. Just in general, this movie's a blast, and one that I think most people would enjoy. It's nothing too serious, so it's not gonna bog you down in any way. It's really just a movie that's about having a good old-fashioned horror fun time. And so if you enjoy movies like that and you haven't seen this and you're just looking to have a good time tonight, there is not one I could pick for you better than Mortuary Collection.
Always have to put up a fight.
So Revenge is the last movie I'm going to talk about on this week's list, but it is weird because this movie is terrifying in some ways, fun in other ways, disturbing in some ways. Just, it has all the things. It's one of those horror movies that really does hit on all these different fronts. Yes, at its core, it is a rape revenge movie. And I know that's not for everyone. That's not usually for me, because it is one subject that, yes, I can watch it, but it does get to me. It does bother me, and it isn't necessarily something that I enjoy to watch. I prefer fun stuff, but I have recommended movies that are not fun because on different ways, I do find something to be fascinating and enjoyable about basically every type of horror / thriller movie. But I get it if that's not your bag. But in this case, I think maybe you should still give this one a try, because this is really strange, but somehow this movie takes that awful, dark type of subject, makes you feel that, but also gives you this badass, super savage female lead that just absolutely kicks so much ass in this movie. And it's done in this very fun type of way. It's just a very exciting movie that takes such a dark subject and yet somehow gives you this enjoyable, fun, exciting movie at the end. And yet it doesn't do it in a way that makes you feel uncomfortable and like it's making light of that. Not at all. But yet it still is enjoyable. I'm telling you, this movie is a lot of fun. It looks amazing. It's shot brilliantly. The directing, just everything about this movie is a lot of fun. So if that sounds like anything that you're into, I highly suggest you check this film out.
You know, I just think I really picked the best movie to be in, like, for a minute 40 years ago.
It's the war on Christmas.
Exes just go away.
Alright guys, that's gonna do it for me today. Please leave your comments down below. Let me know if you've seen any of these, the ones you like, the ones you hate, etc. And also, if you could do me a favor and hit that subscribe button and ding that little bell, because that is the best way to keep track of this channel and when I post videos like this, and I post videos like this every single week. And also, I want to give a huge, massive, enormous thank you to my patrons, because you guys, your support seriously means so much to me. And if you would like to find out more about becoming a patron, the link is down in the description. And like always, thank you so much for watching. Please crush that like button. And remember, guys, horror can be fun. I will see you guys next time.